Fall has bestowed us once again. Time for bundling up, wearing sweatshirts and hoodies, raking leaves out of the yard, and hopefully praying for decent CPU releases and GPU releases that don't bankrupt us upon purchase and hopefully don't crash and catch on fire. We don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll talk about that and more in this week's Optimized Hardware Tech News. Stay tuned, we'll talk about it. Intel has some big plans to get out of the red and start making some money again in the next couple quarters. Their first plan is to get into their foundry operations and then optimize their savings. They want to try to hit a $10 billion savings target and refocusing on x86 technology and AI development. They also have locked up a partnership with Amazon Web Service and also deciding to hold off on their overseas facilities in Poland and Germany. Intel also has that $3 billion contract under the Chips and Science Act for their 18A chips for the DoD and the military. Among other things in the pipeline are the Royal Core and Cobra Core microarchitecture, supposed to be competition for Apple and Snapdragon. Qualcomm also showed interest in possibly buying Intel or parts of it. Nothing is rock solid, so we'll have to see what happens there if there's a purchase or a merger. And we still have Arrow Lake to release. So if Arrow Lake goes well, that could help Intel rebound, but trust has definitely been breached with the last 13th and 14th gen. We'll have to see what happens. Big word around the campfire is the 4090 and 4080 series. NVIDIA plans to stop making all of those for production. I'm assuming the dies, PCBs, in prep for the 5090. My personal take on this is that they saw last generation when they dropped the 40 series that there was a ton of 30 series cards still out on the market. And people bought them. People bought 3080s at a good deal. Retailers were still carrying the 30 series card, so it seemed like a great idea to just buy a 30 series card for a decent build and save yourself a couple bucks. I'd like to say this is really sneaky of NVIDIA, but at the same time, they're a company and they're trying to make money. I think what their plan is you're going to buy the 50 series. Let's not have a ton of 40 series on the shelf. Now, nobody said anything about the 4070 Supers or any of that. So I'm expecting to see a lot of those. And if you look out on the market right now, Newegg, Amazon, and Micro Center, they have tons of 4070s and 4070 Supers. Even the 4080 Supers are still around, but the 4090s are slim to none, slim pickings. I'm assuming that means the 50 series is coming. I think we'll see it in Q1 for Blackwell. And I also think, this is their strategy to not repeat what they did last time around, because 3 or 4 months ago, there was a million 4090s out there on Amazon and other retailers for about, 16 to $2,000. And now they're really, really difficult to get. My local retailer has them at my Micro Center here, and I can still find them on Amazon, but it's spotty in comparison to how it used to be. So that being said, let's get prepped for 50 series. I plan on buying one and doing a review as soon as it comes out. We'll see how that GPU does. Hopefully it's a big uplift. My fear is that it won't be, and I'm glad that I have a bunch of 4090s for myself. We'll have to see how that goes, and hopefully the 50 series knocks their socks off and has a ton of performance gain in all the 50 series, like the 5070, the 5060, whatever is going to be out there, and of course the 5090. Only time will tell, so let's hope for a quick Blackwell launch, and we'll see what goes on. LN2 overclocker Scatterbencher hit a record with AMD's Ryzen 7 9700X, getting up to 6.318. He also broke the OCCT AVX benchmark world record with a score of 269, pushing out the 14900K. It's pretty cool. If you like liquid nitrogen and overclocking, check out his channel. He's got lots of cool stuff. China's also making GPUs. Long soon, they're making a GPU that's comparable to the 2080. It's a Chinese GPU with terrible drivers, so I doubt we'll ever see anything of it. Also, the PS5 Pro is due for release. Coming up shortly at $700. Personally, for $700, I would just buy a PC for a couple more dollars, or even buy a PC for $700, and I think it will be more competitive. Another note, I got asked just recently, what cases do you think are great cases on tier levels? On the budget end, I like the Montech 903 Air Max. It comes with four 140 millimeter fans, RGB hub, lots of space. It's a really easy build. It's got really good airflow. On the mid-level, a great case would be the Lee & O11D Evo RGB. It's basically the same thing as the O11D Evo, but just with some strips on it, and it's got some little add-ons that come along with the case. On the high end, I'm a big fan of the MV7 and the MV9. They're great for custom water cooling. They won't come with any fans, of course. Notable mentions for me would be the Corsair 5000D Airflow, which can be found on Amazon for pretty cheap, around $159 and less on sale, depending on what color. So those are good options. Also, deals on CPUs right now. The 12600KF dropped down to $124. It's a pretty awesome deal for a 10-core CPU. It has DDR5 and DDR4 support with PCIe 5.0 support. It's a good, viable CPU for workstation or gaming. I have one in my own personal workstation, and you can get it up to 5 gigahertz without a problem with a decent cooler. So look into those if you're interested in picking up something for a good deal. Found all of those items for sale at your local retailers, especially Amazon. Take a look at that. Well, that's about a wrap for this Dog and Pony Show. I would like to thank our Facebook group, Custom PC Builders. If you have a rig and you want to get some information or some help or just want to show off your gear, please join us. We'd love to have you along. I'd also like to thank Ugreen for giving away these awesome power banks for us to give away as a prize on our Facebook user group. They are really powerful and do a great job. So big shout out to Ugreen. We really appreciate you a lot. Also, if you haven't joined and subscribed, please do so. It really helps out the channel. And we're going to look forward to some chilly weather and hopefully some releases on some new hardware so I can get my hands on some new stuff, overclock it, test it, maybe break it. We'll see. But thank you again for watching Optimized Hardware, and we will see you again next time.